I'm truly honored to have been nominated for this award by my peers and would like to thank the Rainwater Prize Committee, the Rainwater Charitable Foundation, and the Rainwater family for awarding me the 2022 Rainwater Prize. I'm particularly touched to receive this award because I've come to know Todd, Matt, and other family members of the Rainwater family over the last decade through the Tau Consortium. I know it must have been devastating to watch your dad succumb to progressive supranuclear palsy, PSP, but I'm also sure that he and all of us are proud of what you have done to continue his legacy through the support of research aimed at a better understanding of tauopathies and the development of treatments for these devastating diseases. I want you all to know that the Tau Consortium is a truly special organization that brings together international scientists, patient advocacy groups, NIH funders, and patients and their families. Over the last 10 years through the Tau Consortium, I have been involved in the very best kind of science, open, innovative, and collaborative projects. As an example, the stem cell group of the Tau Consortium worked together to develop a series of stem cell lines from patients carrying tau mutations causing frontotemporal dementia. And we made isogenic pairs created by editing the tau mutation back to the normal sequence. These lines have been made freely available to the entire community. This is truly in the spirit of the Tau Consortium. The stem cell group has now used these lines to understand the earliest developmental changes caused by the mutations in brain cell organoids grown in culture. By working together, we characterize these organoids in multiple domains, something that would have not been possible or would have been very difficult in a single lab. This led to important new insights into both the mechanisms by which neurons die in frontotemporal dementia and highlighting potential therapeutics that could slow or prevent the process. A similar collaborative effort is now underway within the Genomics group of the Tau Consortium to better understand how H1 and H2 haplotypes of the tau locus influence risk for sporadic tauopathies. Again, bringing together different labs with different skill sets, we're able to more broadly characterize the impact of these haplotypes on cell and molecular phenotypes. I know that my postdoctoral fellows, graduate students, and junior faculty have benefited greatly from the network of scientists and trainees they have met and collaborated with through the Tau Consortium. I also want to thank all of my current and former lab members, as well as all of my current and former collaborators, each of whom have contributed to my receiving this award. I learned a long time ago that the secret to doing great science is to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you are. Over the last 30 years, I've been very fortunate to have many outstanding researchers pass through my lab and to have had wonderful collaborators, many of whom I have worked and published with for more than a decade, including many of my former trainees. And I point out one of them, Celeste Karch. Celeste was a winner of the Young Investigator Award from the Rainwater Foundation last year. To each and every one of you, a huge thanks. The traditional caricature of a scientist is of a man working in isolation in an ivory tower. I'm happy to say that I am proof that this caricature is inaccurate and that there are an increasing number of women in science, particularly among our students, fellows, and junior faculty. And I am contributing to that. And my lab is probably 2/3 women scientists, and I'm very proud of that. There is still much to be done because scientific leadership remains much less diverse than our trainees. It's important that we continue to work at increasing diversity, particularly among our leaders. Diversity of opinion and experience is more important than ever before in order to support creative environments for the best science. The other thing that has always bugged me about this caricature is that the scientist is a solitary worker. This is very far from the truth. To me, one of the aspects of science I enjoy most is that it takes a team or a village to produce innovative, interdisciplinary research. Bringing together people across scientific disciplines to work on a common problem has been the focus of my lab for more than 30 years. We all learn from each other because we all view the same problem from different angles. This provides a rich and invigorating environment that promotes discovery. Before I finish, I'd like to address the trainees and fellows here today. I want you all to know that with hard work and a little luck, you can be where I am today, and you should aspire to this. 30 years ago, I almost left science. I had not published many papers, and thus I didn't think I had what it took to be a successful scientist. While at a conference, I had a chance meeting with Bob Williamson, then chair of molecular genetics at St. Mary's Hospital Medical School in London. It was Bob who introduced me to John Hardy, a new faculty in his department with big ideas but little experience in human genetics. John is a neurochemist by training. I was the first postdoc to join John's lab and employee number 3. A year earlier, he and a neurologist, Martin Rosser, had begun collecting families multiply affected by Alzheimer's disease. Just before I joined the lab, the amyloid precursor protein gene had been cloned, and several labs in the US had mapped this to chromosome 21. And linkage studies had suggested that a gene causing Alzheimer's disease mapped to chromosome 21. Although this makes it sound as if the stars were aligned, it took 4 years from this time to demonstrate that some families did indeed carry mutations within the APP gene that caused Alzheimer's disease. As it turns out, only 15% of these families carry a mutation in APP. So we were lucky that one of our largest families carried such a mutation. This transformative work changed the field and my career. Within a year, I had moved to Washington University to take up a faculty position. And once on my way, I never looked back. But I've always been acutely aware of the role luck played at a critical time in my career and how easily I could have left science. Lastly, I want to thank my family for their unswerving love and support throughout the last 30 years. I would not be here today without you. Thank you once again to the Rainwater family, the prize committee, for this tremendous award. I am truly honored and humbled to be the 2022 recipient of the Rainwater Prize.